Okay guys, so let's take a look at basic one-step inequalities today. We're going to practice solving and graphing them. Remember, when we go to graph them, an open circle means that the value is not included. So we're looking at inequalities like the greater than sign or the less than sign. A filled in circle means that the value is included. So we'd be looking at greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Let's look at our first problem. 15 plus x is less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it down here so I have a little bit more space. And we're going to solve it just like if we were solving a one-step equation. The only difference is that we're looking at inequality. We're going to treat it like a balance. So whatever we do on one side, we'll do on the other. So here, 15 is being added. So we're going to look at the inverse. The inverse operation would be to subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 15 from both sides. So here it would give me 0. So I'd go ahead and cross that out and bring down just my x, bring down my inequality sign, and 0 minus 15 would give me negative 15. So now, taking a look at my inequality sign, it includes the number. So that means my circle is going to be filled in. So I'm going to go find negative 15 on my number line. And I'm going to do my filled in circle. Now, x is less than or equal to negative 15. So remember, we got to think about what we would plug into that x. Is negative 16 less than or equal to negative 15? Or is negative 14 less than or equal to negative 15? Remember, we've talked about this in prior videos. The bigger the negative number, the smaller it is. So that would mean that negative 16 would be less than or equal to negative 15. So I'm going to shade in my number line to the left. So that is what it would look like. So now we're going to go ahead and try another one. Now we have 3 plus v is less than or equal to negative 9. Go ahead and take a second to try and do it on your own. Okay, let's go ahead and try it out. So again, it's like a balance. So the 3 is being added. So we're going to do the inverse and subtract. And whatever we do on one side, we're going to do on the other. So 3 minus 3 gives us 0. So we bring down our v. I'm going to bring down my inequality sign. And negative 3 minus 3 is going to give us negative 12. So now we're going to do the same thing we did before. Is negative 11 less than or equal to negative 12? Or is negative 13 less than or equal to negative 12? Well, if I think about it, I know that the bigger the negative number, the smaller it is. So negative 13 would be less than or equal to. So because it includes the number, it's going to be a closed circle. I'm going to put a closed circle on negative 12 and shade to the left. Remember, with inequalities, that circle is very important. So let's go ahead and look at our next problem. It says negative 3x is greater than 3. So negative 3x is greater than 3, and we have already looked at those negative numbers, so let's see how we do. So remember, the inverse of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. This is going to give me 1, so I bring down that x. X is greater than 3 divided by negative 3 gives me negative 1. But remember, because we divided by a negative number, that means in order to make our inequality true, I need to flip my sign. So then this would be our final answer. So I'm going to go ahead and graph. So I have negative 1, and it's going to be an open circle because less than does not include the number. X is less than. So is negative 2 less than negative 1, or is 0 less than negative 1? Well, again, I know the bigger the negative number, the smaller it is. So this one would be true, and I would graph to the left. Take a look at another one. So I want you to go ahead and take a minute to try and do this problem on your own. Once you've done it on your own, come back and take a look at how you did. Okay, so by this point you should be done solving. So take a look. You should have gotten n is greater than 9. And because it's a greater than sign, we have an open circle on 9. And then we also took a look to see which way we're graphing. Is 8 greater than 9, or is 10 greater than 9? Well, I know 10 is greater than 9, so I'm going to graph to the right. Let's look at one more. We have m over 5 is greater than or equal to negative 5. This is going to be the same as the last one. So we're going to go ahead and multiply because multiplication is the inverse. That's going to give us just m is greater than or equal to negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. And because it's also equal to, our circle is going to be filled in. Now, is negative 24 greater than or equal to negative 25? Or is negative 26 greater than or equal to negative 25? Well, like we said before, the bigger the negative number, the smaller it is. And because I want it to be bigger, then my correct answer would be negative 24. So I'm going to go ahead and put my closed circle, and I'm going to graph to the right. Now for this last problem, you're going to do it all on your own. Solve and graph. This is going to be kind of like your exit ticket. Once you're finished solving and graphing, go ahead and come back and take a look at how you did. Now that you're finished, you can go ahead and take a look at how you did. graph, and all. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you again tomorrow.